Alright, on today's video, as you've already read in the title, we're going to be turning aluminum foil into what looks like a ball bearing. You've probably seen this all over already, but I thought I'd go ahead and give it a try for today's video. And then next week, we're going to be actually using this in the basis of a prop. So make sure you subscribe so you can see what we're going to use this for. So let's get right into it with step number 1. Alright, so there's not really much prep involved with this, so we're just going to kind of jump right in. I got a pair of gloves, a smooth surfaced hammer, that's going to be very critical. I got some sandpaper, I might end up getting some finer grit stuff. We got the mag in aluminum polish, Mother's, trusty. I have a feeling that'll work just fine. And then I got pretty much an entire roll of foil. So I guess let's just jump right in and start wadding up some foil. Alright, get the glove up. Just gotta wait. And I believe there's a shinier and a dull side. Yeah, this side's shinier, so I'm going to try to make that be the outside. I don't think it's going to matter in the end, but alright, so that's step 1. I'm just going to kind of press it now. Get the main looseness out of it. Alright. Alright, so it's been about half an hour. My arm's tired, but it's pretty round. Pretty close anyway. There is a few little problem areas, nothing too problematic. A few layer issues in like one spot. And there was one, yeah, right here, there's one kind of deeper hole, but that's just going to add, you know, some texture when it is done. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out the anvil and see if that speeds things up a little bit, and I'm just going to keep smacking away on this thing until we get it to a point where I feel like we can sand it. So let's do it. Boom. And there it is, you guys. Not a single bit of sandpaper has touched that ball. That is nothing but smooth taps with a smooth hammer. It's about 3 hours worth of work, but I gotta say, I'm pretty happy with the way it looks, and it's very round, very spherical. Now, the original creator, according to BuzzFeed's video, if you haven't seen their video, go check that out. It's pretty funny. They contacted the original creator. They claimed to not use sandpaper or any abrasives. I'm not sure if this is considered an abrasive or not. He may or may not have used a polish. I'm using a polish, but I'm not going to sand this thing. I'm just going to see how the polish works. So, I got my ball, I got an applicator and a wiper. You put it on, wipe it off.
Wax on, wax off,
etc. So let's just get right into this and we'll do a little test spot, see how it turns out. If it doesn't look like it's going to work, I'm going to go ahead and get some 1000 grit and sand it first. But let's see how this goes. Now when I use mothers, I like to just put a little bit on the rag. We'll hold it in the other rag so we don't make a mess. And I'm just going to pick a spot and we'll just do a little test spot.
Ew.
Well, actually, it looks a little tarnished, a little dark. I could probably get that out, but looking at it in the side here where it's unpolished, I can just kind of barely see a blur of my face. But over here, I don't know, it looks a little bit brighter to me. You tell me. I'm going to keep trying and see what happens, but I'm going to go ahead and switch to time lapse and I'm just going to start polishing away using this same method and we'll see how it goes. Alright, so I've polished for a few, not super long, but I can tell right now that it's shinier where I haven't polished than it is where I have. So I'm going to go ahead and get some 1000 grit, run up to the Home Depot real quick, and I'm going to do a wet sand on this whole thing. Then we'll polish again. But it should turn out good either way. So let's get some sandpaper and keep going. Alright, we got our 1000 grit paper, we got our ball, and I got a bowl of water. You already know where this is going, so just sit back and enjoy the time lapse. Alright, after 15 minutes, my water is completely murky. I do have a nice shine. That was just 1/2 of a sheet of 1000 grit for 15 minutes. Now, I'm going to take the other half and I'm going to change the water and I'm going to do it for another 15 minutes. It's really starting to look good though, guys. Alright, after one full sheet of 1000 grit and about 30 minutes of sanding, it's got quite a nice shine. However, I think we can get it shinier. So I'm going to go ahead and take a little break, and then I'm going to hit it with a full another sheet, another about a half hour of sanding before we polish it up. And it should be all done. Alright you guys, I've been sanding this thing for an hour and 15 minutes, wet sanding this with 1000 grit sandpaper. And I gotta say, it feels so much smoother than it did before. And it's still pretty shiny, but it's not a mirror finish, it's still pretty dull. So obviously now we're gonna do this. But man, that is just, I mean, it's just so awesome. You guys gotta try this. It's really a fun project. So let's see how this turns out this time, shall we? Just gonna do a small area to start. Okay. And wipe that away. Oh wow. Would you look at that? Polished, unpolished. Oh my goodness. Alright, I'm going to spend about an hour doing this in my recliner. And you see the process, so I'll show you what it looks like in just a second. But wow, that looks amazing. Alright, let me knock out the rest of this real quick. Alright you guys, there she is, the final product. Now I've got about probably 6 hours total time in hammering. Hammering was about 3 to 4 hours. I sanded for about an hour and 15 minutes, and then I polished for a good hour also. So, I mean, it took a lot of work. I could have probably done a better job, got rid of all these little blemishes and like little pits and scratch looking things. But like I said at the beginning of the video, this is going to be in another prop, which you'll see in the next video. So make sure that you subscribe so you can see how that's going to turn out. But this effect is going to actually work in our favor for that. So thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Like this video, give it a big thumbs up. In the description I have a link to my Patreon account. So if you feel like leaving a donation in Patreon, you can click that link and get transferred right over. Also find me on Facebook. And till next time, I'll see you next week.